County sheriffs, and the Lake County sheriff said absolutely not, because it's too close to the Paul's anniversary. And one of the speakers at the particular meeting that they were going to have said, that's fine, I'll just take advantage of the Florida stand your ground law. I have my gun, any faggot that comes up to me, I'll shoot them. Now, if that isn't the Holy Spirit needing to work overtime, I don't know what. Because how can a religion that says that they're Christian and following Christ spread hate? I don't get it. Maybe I missed a class in the seminary or a section of a class. I went to the bathroom or something where it was explained, but I don't know. I don't know. You know, Jesus never spread hate. I don't think Jesus ever said the word accept. Maybe once. That I can recall in the New Testament. He didn't say, you know, take this all of you and eat, except. Those of you without sin accept these sins. He never did that. But yet we have men today that wants to do it. I don't get it. And it's harder for us as disciples, as ambassadors of Christ, to try to get the Trinitarian word out. You know? What did Jesus say? Two simple things. Love God, love your neighbor. Unconditionally. Unconditionally. And to forgive. And to forgive. So, today we think about the three of them. But right now, the way our society and everything is, we need the third. The Holy Spirit to definitely guide us and guide our society. I know we will never have world peace. I know that will never happen. We can pray till the cows come home, but that will never happen. And it's not that I don't have faith. I think we can all say we know man. And man will always mess it up for that. So let's ask the Holy Spirit for some real extra boost shots, if you will, to help us with all of our issues of today. A little pause. Okay, any thoughts about my impromptu, Holy Spirit driven, or any of the readings, or anything?
Did you go to the meeting? Did you go to the meeting at the Baptist Church?
No, because I didn't know it was going to be there. They never definitively said that it was going to be there. I saw it on Facebook again.
I remember hearing something about it on, I think it might have been on the radio, and it didn't give a location either. Like, it specifically called out that
Right.
it was
Right, but somehow
if I knew that it was right around the corner from me, I
Yeah.
probably would have attended.
Yeah.
Because
I will.
how do we know that it? How do we know that it was all about hate and that they were spewing hate? What is the perspective that
Because
they're coming from?
No, but I mean the gentleman that was
The head speaker.
the head people, he said point blank, I want to have all homosexuals executed.
Oh. You heard that?
Yes.
From
Yes.
From the
And-
horse's mouth.
And when the
there's a
gentleman
video of it.
and the pastor of the church went across the street to where the protesters were at McDonald's, that's how far they were from the church, across 27, and disputed all the stuff again.
So, again, I think that's an individual blaspheming the church, the Baptist church. And I don't see it as, I mean, unless we were there and truly understood. So a good challenge during one of my classes with Father Eric, he's, he made a point, and it's really good because we do need to challenge our mind to think like this sometimes. If we were a young adult in 1930-something Germany, would we think that the Nazis were bad? I mean, think about it. If you were born and raised into and I'm not saying that I think they were good, so don't get me wrong. This is all hypothetical, and if you have to challenge yourself to think, if you were born and raised into a certain way of thinking, who's to say that what we say and think is the right thing either? But understanding the perspective of the person, whether you agree with it or not, they may have something. I think we can't judge, and we can't until we know and understand. And even then, we aren't anyone that is to judge. There's only one that can judge.
But when they bring about healing, that's where.
And I don't believe in that either, and I don't think that's right either, and I disagree with all of that. However, what got their mind at that point? What put them there? What happened in their life that caused that way of thinking?
Oh, it's very simple. It's very simple. Like I used to tell the parents when I was principal, you are sending me a mirror image of your home. Think what you're sending. Because when the kids started to come out and say, nigger this, nigger that, or faggot this, faggot that, spick, the whole bit, I know where they got it from. And when I had fifth graders swearing like a sailor, I know where they got it from.
They're not born
what I'm
knowing
saying
they
is,
learn.
Or when I had
and being a principal and being in that position, you had the best position to be able to, instead of looking at those children and saying, well, they're spewing hate, that's hateful. And you even just said, well, they're a mirror image of their parents.
Exactly.
So, isn't it up to us more so than to try to get them to see a different perspective? So if they have children, their children become the mirror image of them, who may have a different mindset and a different way of thinking than their parents.
Where things
As
are wrong,
opposed to,
where things are wrong,
Mm-hmm.
then you need to fix it.
Right. And And
You know, same
and
thing,
that's
if
what we
it
should
can be
focus
fixed.
on, as opposed to
If it can be fixed.
immediately looking and saying, well, they're spewing hate and they're really hateful.
Well-
Yeah, in our perspective, they are. And
Yeah.
I agree with that. But instead of just taking the defensive against it, you know, take the offensive and try to relate first, and then change the way of thinking, or, you know, respectfully,
yeah, and then-
change the way of thinking, and it may not be 100% on that individual, but they're going to produce offspring, and those offspring, if their parent is now a little more understanding or tolerable, if you will, and I use air quotes, that's going to make it even easier for the child to now become or have a more open and respectful mind of things. Because I don't think that you can change the individual, but you do have ability to influence where they go from there. As opposed to, I mean, you hear the message that they gave out, you know, America Straight Again or whatever, and you immediately think, oh, they're hateful, you know, pitchforks and spears and fire and whatever. Then you could think about it like that, or you could look at it like, well, why do they think in that manner? And yes, I've been blasphemy against against Christianity. If you're Baptists come from Christianity or have that, you know, so why are they thinking like that?
Well-
and how do you relate to get them to understand and be more understanding?
In this particular case, with this particular incident, the organizers made it quite clear that it was hate. The four pastors from across the United States, you just need to look at any of their YouTubes or anything, and it's all hate.
Okay.
The U.S. government,
And those individuals may be unredeemable.
yeah, the U.S. government has dubbed them, like Westford Baptist Church, that type of, you know, troublemakers. And, you know, if they want to yell and scream and do hate, yes, but I agree with you to the point where you try
You try.
to make, like, what I put on their site, nobody, and I'm not saying I'm, you know, the bee's knees, but no one argued with me. I put very simply, and it didn't take an MIT brain to figure this out. I said, put religion aside. Let's look at history. It was the Roman Catholic Church that decided which books were going to be put into the Bible. This church is missing 9 of them because they're still with King James Version. You need the 9 back that shows unconditional love.
So, with that said,
And I didn't
I hope
say-
everybody understands I'm majorly playing devil's advocate, but actually I'm playing Christ's advocate. And so, because if the bottom line is love God, love your neighbor, who are we to then go against them and not love them?
Exactly.
So but then I'm also going to say, who's to say, with your comment, who's to say Rome is right and that's the way to go? Because isn't that kind of doing exactly the same as what they're doing?
No, because
They're saying I'm right.
No, because they use the Bible as their thing. So I wanted them to learn the history behind the Bible. How did this book get put together? And it was at the Council of Nicaea that the 4 synoptic gospels were decided. Out of all the gospels that are out there, those 4 were decided. And at the time in the church, there was major hypocrisy going on. So again, I'm using that history to say, isn't this what's happening here and now with you guys?
Right.
How can you say you're using the same Bible? Number 1, you're missing 9 books. Okay? And, you know, that's not what the Roman Catholic Church decided. I'm using that because it's the history. It's not me playing one religion against another. Decided to put in the Bible. There are other, go learn the other Gospels. Go read the other Gospels. You can Google them. And they're all there. It'll open your eyes. So I didn't want to belittle them, but I wanted to take it to a little level of education. And there were no negative comments after, because how can you argue history? You can't argue history, it happened.
But just pointing in the direction, which is a great place to start, Rome and whatever. Also, say, look at other things that don't have to do with what my religion or this religion is, and look at, to open your mind and have a bigger perspective of things.
Exactly.
And so I guess to sum up what I was trying to say is, wouldn't we be just as bad as them if we are condemning them for not thinking the way that we think, as opposed to the simple rule of love God, love your neighbor? That doesn't mean that you have to agree with your neighbor. And you do what you can best to try to share your views and your viewpoint, and maybe they'll, become a little more understanding. But if not, it's up to us to forget about them, or to not allow them to affect us.
Right. And then,
and if we've done what we can to try to love, then we forget about them. Or not forget about them, but we don't let them affect us.
And there are times in my typical, as you know, I always use Bostonian thick-headed mafioso way, that I like to play Jesus in the temple, who wasn't all nicey-nicey, and like to overturn some things and beat some people up.
Yes.
As he did. Because you don't get it one way, you get another way. Just like, tough love with your kids sometimes.
Well, sometimes you do have to be aggressive to get your message across, which I think that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
It probably got the message across. And he was angry, but I don't think he hated them.
Oh, no.
I don't think he judged them for trying to make a profit off of, the sacrifice.
Oh, no. And I think Mary Magdalene probably sent him to anger management after that.
Right? Ooh, swap. Sandy, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
I think that there are two different things. One is judging a person who is saying anything, is different from understanding the principle of exclusivity and hurting another person. They're two different things. We don't have to mix them. We don't have to hate them, and we don't have to say you are hating. We just talk to the issue, which I think Jesus was doing when he was saying it. It's it's not the way it is. We do get emotional about the message and then end up angry with the person.
Right. And I think that's human nature. That's part of the human condition.
But we have some very current examples of that.
Absolutely we do. But that is the biggest message and the biggest thing, I think, with Christ and the idea of Christianity being Christ-like is we can't take it personal and let it affect us. It's all within us. It's all internal. And you mentioned, do you have to be baptized to be saved by Christ? Well, and I say, what is baptism? Because it's all within you. It's all internal as to, are you truly, if you've sinned, and you're truly remorseful for it, do you need a priest to tell you, oh, you're saved now, you're good, or is that good enough for Jesus? Is that good enough for God? It's all internal, and it's our true intent and our true beliefs. So, do you need to have water sprayed at you? I'd say, sure, it's a celebration that you have accepted, Christ. It's like streamers at a birthday party, okay? I'm having my birthday party, here's the streamers, it's warm.
But the question is, what would Jesus do? in that situation. It doesn't, that's really the question. So the questioning is what would you do?
True. And even our answer to that is based on our own perspectives. You might think he would do one thing, and I think he might do something else. That would, be totally different. That's the great part of our faith. There's no one set exact way. We have the outline. We've got the outline. That's what he gave us. And what do we do with that outline?
How would we interpret it that somebody who unconditionally loves is going to say, you didn't have water on you or something, and so I'm not going to
Exactly.
do it? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. But again, you're seeing how man steps in and it starts with the you must, you must, you must, you must, you must. That's when things get messed up. We were listening on the way in, as I was saying. I got an education about the Orthodox churches and how you think there's splits in the Roman Church. Yes, the Protestant faiths came from them. You should see in the Orthodox Church, and it's unbelievable all the different splits. They have much, much more splitting than us. And it's a lot of it isn't faith-based. They're not arguing the tenets of the faith. It's all man. Well, who's governing us? We don't like him, so we're going to get away from this one. And now, there's a lot of, and here's Francis coming in, and it was brought up, where he's doing his visits. And this is a wonderful example of being an ambassador for the Holy Spirit. He isn't hitting typically Catholic countries at all. Go to Portugal, go to Italy, go to Ireland, where they're heavy Catholic. He's hitting all of the poor sections. The poor, the marginalized faiths, the Orthodox faiths that are having so much problem. Did you realize, maybe you don't, maybe you do, I did. Did he sign an agreement with the imam when he went to Saudi Arabia? An agreement of the two faiths coming, not, converting, but I mean coming together. Muslim and Catholic. He signed that agreement. No one's done that. The only closest thing was Paul VI when he went to visit the Pope of the Orthodox Church. And that opened the doors to dialogue. And so Francis is doing the same thing. He's going to where Catholics are on the minority because he wants to help out fix the problems with the Orthodox churches. He's going to Romania. Or is he on his way? He's going to Romania. He wants to go to, he went to the Emirates already. There's another, he wants to go to Russia. He wants, he's hitting all the Orthodox. And Constantinople. Because remember, it goes back to Peter and Paul separating. Peter stayed in Rome, Paul went to Constantinople. So those were your two centers of the church. And then they disagreed. You know how we tease and we say the saying, rob from Peter, pay Paul? No, that goes back to the making fun of the fights they had, which they did. It wasn't the faith. It wasn't about what Jesus said. It was the way you implement it. That's where the arguments come from. And it's amazing. So it goes back to basically, we all believe the same thing. We all believe in the shamrock, the triangle, the guy in the white beard, the younger guy, and the dove. All of us have that common foundation, but it's the way we implement it that sometimes causes strife and causes religious wars. Look at Ireland, north, south. Even the flag, as we learned on St. Patrick's Day. Orange, Protestants, green, Catholic, hope, the white, that they come together.
It's just so important that we just take our simple life and just do the thing that we're, it's like there are all these things all around us. We can't do anything about it other than to create an energy of life here.
And you're
It's based on the principle that we want to happen.
and you're expressing exactly what Jorge Balo, well, now I can't say his last name, but Burrow, whatever. Francis, as a priest and as auxiliary bishop, Archbishop of Bogota, Buenos Aires, and Cabo. That was his thing. We can't change the whole world. Let's take care of our little piece. And that's what he did. And it was fun.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. Now he, in his position, his little niche is the world, so he can try to affect as much as he can. And that was the cool part, because when the series ended, he's going to the conclave because Benedict resigned. And so he needs to see people. He wants to see people before he goes and take care of some things, even with some priests that are having issues. And so they're all like, "You're not coming back." Every single one that he met said, "You're not coming back." His secretary, in the diocese, "You're not coming back." His old friend, Jesuit, has been with him since the beginning, when he was hiding seminarians from the communists and everything. "You're not coming back." And he said, "Well, give me your cane if you feel that way. Maybe if they look at me as a crooked old, cardinal, they won't vote for me." He was trying to make a joke. And here they show, the white smoke, and when they come out with the name, Habemus Papam, Jorge Bergoglio, you see, again, they show how, Argentina went ballistic because it was he. And they knew that he would be definitely chosen from the Spirit.
And you
He
could
would
see how
exactly
many
what he did.
ballots of his name was on it. How many of those were chosen?
It was a land. And I know he did a lot, as I said with this movie. So they can't give out, under the seal, you can't say exactly, but I'm sure they advised that it was almost a landslide or whatever. So again, the Holy Spirit is working.